Thank you for
Stay
having me.
in the region where Taiwan's President Ching-Te has praised strong ties with the European Union during a meeting with visiting EU lawmakers. Speaking in Taipei, Lai said both Taiwan and the EU share the values of freedom and democracy, but they also face similar threats from external interference. He warned of attempts to undermine democratic elections and spread division through misinformation. The EU, while maintaining ties with China, continues to balance support for Taiwan. Meanwhile, Beijing is set to host a major EU summit this week, marking 50 years of diplomatic relations. Lai reaffirmed Taiwan's determination to defend democracy and deepen partnerships with Europe. We're now joined by Ross Feingold, who is a political analyst. He joins us from the Taiwanese capital. Ross, thank you very much for joining us. How would you analyse this relationship between Taipei and Brussels, especially going forward into this summit hosted by Beijing? There's obviously three players in this relationship, but how would you, how is the EU going to balance its interests here?
Certainly there's an important business relationship. EU companies are one of the most important or largest foreign investors here in Taiwan, so they play a crucial role in direct investment. At the same time, European countries are increasingly welcome investment from Taiwan, most notably semiconductor giant TSMC is building a semiconductor fab in Germany along with several German partners, which is going to provide chips to the German auto industry. So there's a significant two-way trade and business investment relationship. Now, often in recent years, we also hear conversations and statements like the one today, where Taiwanese politicians, in this case the president, visiting European politicians, will talk about like-minded partners, democracies standing together, shared values, China threat, and things of that nature. But it doesn't change another significant fact, which you also pointed out, which is the European Commission still has to maintain relations with China, and that also includes ensuring access to the Chinese market for European companies. Some of those European companies consider China a crucial market, notably in the auto industry. So there's definitely a balancing act for European governments as well as for the European Union institutions when it comes to this trilateral relationship.
Yes, indeed, Ross. But how do you assess the strategic significance of EU-Taiwanese values alignment in the context of Europe's larger China policy?
Well, we have to really get to the point when it comes to that discussion. And ultimately, it's the security threat that Taiwan faces from China. Now, European politicians or statements from the European Union could talk all they want about democracy and like-minded partners, or call on China to reduce its threat towards Taiwan and call for peace here in the Taiwan Strait. But ultimately, if China does decide to use force to take over Taiwan, the likelihood that the European Union is going to send troops to help defend Taiwan is extraordinarily small. So there's a lot of talk, but when it comes to action, again, Taiwan shouldn't be able to count on European military help. And in fact, European countries are generally reluctant to sell military technology or weapons to Taiwan, much to the frustration of the Taiwanese, because they hear all these nice messages about democracy and about maintaining the status quo between China and Taiwan. But when it comes to an actual security relationship, that's clearly still lacking because the European Union fears the reaction from China.
Yes, Ross Feingold, thank you very much. Always a pleasure having you on the programme, of course. Well, that is all we have time for.